Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Got question Chase, has got the facts, talking NFL numbers, he's got your back. A little chart trend ball, man, he's got it like that. Chasing data by do champions. Chasing data applies to everyone. Chasing data, yeah, we're live today. Chasing data for always. Chasing data by do champions.
As a Ravens fan, this is an interesting night to say the least. Um, was planning to come on here and talk about the Commanders and the Cardinals, but first we have to talk about Max Crosby and what has come of this rescinded trade from what seems to be the Baltimore side. Whether it be valid or not, I'm not sure. I'm assuming it's related to his physical and the failed physical and the knee surgery he had in the offseason. But here we are. This has immediate ramifications for the Ravens, the Raiders, and the rest of the league. Do the Ravens go out and sign Trey Hendrickson, who they're linked to at this moment? Do they use the 14th pick that they now get back and the 2027 first? But do they get back that 14th pick and use it on best available edge at 14? Do the Raiders rescind some of their trades from their side? Can we see Tyler Linderbaum potentially not be a Raider? Does he come back to the Ravens? Crosby back to Vegas. Yes, correct. A lot going on for sure. I don't know how it ends up. I don't know. It's going to have extreme ramifications. Could we see Rashawn Gary potentially end up in Baltimore? Do the Cowboys rescind their trade now that Max Crosby is back available? I can see Jerry Jones getting a little more lenient with his draft picks and what he does with them. But we'll see. So yeah, that's what happened with that. A lot more other things happened with free agency, but we're here tonight to talk about the Cardinals and the Commanders. Will says, "Do you think my Birds got the best cornerback trio in the league with the Birds, wrong Birds. Q and Reek on the outside with Coop in the slot?" Yes. There's already one of the best duos in the NFL with Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, and now they go out and get Reek Woolen on a prove-it contract, a 1-year, $15 million contract. I don't know who you would argue would be better. It would be hard to find a trio that is as good as those three, honestly. Big Mexican Raider says Ravens had buyer's remorse, got cooked in the trade, and was getting cooked in free agency. Man, I don't know. But the thing is now is they have no pass rush. Obviously, they lost Oway last year, traded him away. Draymond Jones was also a free agent. They're one pass rusher, and he's gone. Mike Green has not done anything in the first year. Why don't the Vikings trade 9 for Crosby? I don't know. I mean, they need a quarterback. I don't know if they already have a solid team around them. They're also trying to get rid of Grenard and they're cap strapped at this point. Probably already have a deal with Hendrickson. Yeah, but I mean, you're going to back out of a Crosby trade to then go and get a little bit older and a little more injured player in Trey Hendrickson. So I don't know. I mean, is what it is at this point. We are here now, and we will move forward without Max Crosby. No choice. So let's get into the Commanders. Bush League Ravens. Yeah. Or will they try to match Raiders deal with their center? I don't know. Do I see tomorrow being crazy? Not crazier than today. I mean, today was pretty absurd to say the least. But here we are. Appreciate everybody stopping by. Let's get into the Commanders. So when we look at the Commanders and where they were last year, let's move on here. So last year, the Commanders have them 28th ranked right now. This is all going to move around a lot based on free agency and what teams have added to their roster over the last 2 days. Dallas Cowboys free agency. Yeah, their free agency may get more interesting. I want to see what they're going to do with the likes of Rashawn Gary. now that Max Crosby is back available. I mean, you look at what the Cowboys have done. They tagged George Pickens, they re-signed Javonte Williams, have Rashawn Gary, Jalen Thompson, and PJ Locke to shore up that safety room. They were one of the worst, not the worst, pass defenses in the NFL. Also get Sam Williams on the edge. But back to the Commanders right now. Last year they were 5-12. They ended up losing 8 straight games in the middle of the season. They won the last game in a pointless game versus the Eagles, but that's how their season went. It was not good at all. Currently, when you look at the draft books, sports books, sorry, cannot speak tonight. Their current over under is 7.5. Their odds to be champion are currently near the bottom at plus 6,500. They're around 24th overall to win their conference in the NFC. They are plus 3,500, the 11th best odds, and the division winner to win the NFC East. They have the third best odds at plus 500. I mean, this is basically banking on the offense being good because the defense did not do anything last year, as we know. The head coach for the Commanders, my notes here. I mean, obviously we know it's Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn's head coach. The defensive coordinator is Durante Jones this year. Offense coordinator David, the quarterback coach from, was it Detroit? But anyways, so the Commanders, they lose Cliff Kingsbury. They played well 2 years ago. They struggled mightily last year. Their defense was god awful. Their defense was absolutely terrible, to be honest. But have they gotten better in free agency? Right now, currently as I speak, I probably missed the last 20 minutes. They shored up that defense for sure, especially that front four, which is maybe one of the worst areas of the defense. Secondary could have an argument there. But they get Odafe Owe. They overpay him. Potentially Drake Jackson, Dietrich Wise, they bring back Shy Tuttle, Tim Settle, and the interior of the defensive line. They re-sign Marcus Mariota and Traylon Burks. They lose Deebo Samuel. Chris Paul is also a loss, but they did sign Leo Chanel, from the Kansas City Chiefs. Amik Robertson from Detroit. They have a lot of pending free agents that's probably not coming back. The likes of Bobby Wagner, are they going to bring him back? I'm guessing not after signing Leo Chanel from the Chiefs. Outside of that, they're losing Austin Eckler, Zach Ertz, Jeremy McNichols, Chris Paul in that guard position, Noah Brown. I mean, they're still bringing back most of the team. Rappaport says Vikings signed Murray on Wednesday. Wow. They're getting him at the vet minimum, which is absurd to say the least. But the Commanders, their strengths last year was obviously the offense. The defense was one of the worst in the NFL. Their advanced metrics, I mean, nothing played in their favor last year. Cap situation, their cap is actually a little bit better now. They currently have the most cap space at $75 million, but as far as who's available that they could still go out and get, there's not many left, honestly, of note. I mean, all the big names are pretty much gone. They don't need a quarterback. They do need a running back. I misspoke. They do have Bill Krosky Merritt, but outside of that, I mean, do they bring in someone like Rashad White, another pass catcher? I mean, who else would they bring in as of note? Wide receiver that could go get one of these secondary receivers. Could they go out and get Juwan Jennings? I don't know. Get a veteran in the house like Keenan Allen, Nook, Hopkins. Tight end, they got to bring in a tight end because Zach Ertz is gone. Chiga Kakwo is available. David Njoku. The offensive line, there's still some names available. Defense, they've already swung big on. Do they get someone that is in the secondary potentially? Jack Jones, Reek Willen's gone. Kobe Durant's still available. I mean, they cut Marshawn Lattimore, as we know. Nate Hobbs is available as well. Cam Taylor-Britt. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. Thoughts on the Panthers free agency? We're just going to go for complete free season now. I need to talk about these teams. Free agency is the the vibe of the hour right now. Thoughts on the Panthers free agency? So the Panthers, they went out and spent plenty of money, to say the least. They went out and got big name players. They spent a lot of money last year on the defense, and they went and did it again this year with the edge, Jalen Phillips. Jalen Phillips right now, did they overpay? Potentially, yes. They gave him very rich contract. Was it 30 million a year? His career 17 game average is 7.5 sacks, 60 quarterback pressures, 14.5% quarterback pressure rate, and a .88 second get off. This will be comparable to a 2025 Jared Verse or Zach Allen. I mean, solid. I don't know if it's worth 30 million now. He's the seventh or eighth highest paid, um, seventh highest paid edge player in NFL, right above Zach Allen, I believe. Honestly, our edge player. I mean, Zach Allen's a little bit more interior, but Carolina was 30th in sacks last year and last in quarterback pressure rate. So they had to go make a big splash play on the defense. The offense did take a step forward. They did have pass catchers and somewhat of a run game in 2025. They did lose Rico Dowdle, but with that said, they go get Jalen Phillips. They also go get Devin Lloyd, who was the best linebacker on the board this year. He was a turnover machine last year in Jacksonville. He had 5 interceptions, one pick six. In Carolina's 31 seasons, they've only had one linebacker to put up that type of number of 5 interceptions. And Carolina was the eighth worst team versus the run in 2025. And Lloyd had 36 tackles at or behind the line of scrimmage. So he helps with the turnovers. He also helps with a run D that was not great, bottom third of the league last year in the Carolina Panthers. So they go out and make two big splash plays. They also sign the likes of Isaiah Simmons and a backup in Kenny Pickett. So I would grade them probably a B. They spent a lot of money on big name players. Secondary was much better than the end of the year last year with J.C. Horn. They had other players in that secondary. Mike Jackson come around at the end of the season to play well. So, I mean, I would say they did relatively well, honestly. I assume this is troll talk here with George Pickens to the Ravens. I mean, he got tagged, so that is not happening. Who did the Eagles get? Let's see. Did I miss anybody else? I'm gonna catch up with all the. Andy says, let's see, man, we got plenty of comments here. Let's see. You think the Raiders keep Max? It's going to be hard pressed for them to trade him, I think. His agent just put out the statement that said he continues to be on track in recovery and according to his surgeon. So I don't know. I feel like their return is going to be a little bit less than what they got with the 2 first rounders from the from the Ravens. So it's going to be hard pressed to get another equivalent trade. But there's also always Jerry Jones who makes the craziest things happen. Just Perfect Fishing is trolling. Who did the Eagles get? The Eagles finally got on the board with Reek Woolen. That was the last thing I saw. Let me see if they've done anything else since then. I haven't checked the transactions as of late, but let's see. They got Reek Woolen on a 1-year prove deal, $15 million. They did an extension with Jordan Davis. Johnny Munt, 1 year from the Vikings last year, I believe, was a great blocking tight end. He did have a few catches in the pass game, but more of a blocking tight end, which is what they needed. They did not have that. And Grant Calcaterra is also back with the Eagles. So the Eagles haven't done much, but they had to let some of their players walk, as we know. The Raiders robbed the Ravens. Teo, appreciate the follow. 406 M. Dot, appreciate the follow. Raj, appreciate the follow. You think Woolen signing was good for the Eagles? Connor, appreciate the follow. Absolutely. That takes the Eagles. They already had the best cornerback duo in the NFL with Cooper DeJean and in the slot and Quinyon Mitchell matching up with the wide receiver 1 every week. So they had the best duo, and then they go out and get one of the better free agent DBs in Reek Woolen. I mean, you would be hard pressed to find a trio that's close to them. I mean, I'm trying to think who would be. I mean, you have the Broncos who have Pat Surtain, but then it's Riley Moss. I mean, Jade Barron. they had in Kansas City. Now the Rams have Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson, Quentin Lake in the slot, but I mean that's not comparable. The Jets got rid of Sauce Gardner. He goes to the Colts. They're okay. Niners had Demodore Lenore. No, AJ Terrell. I mean, no. The Texans potentially with Derek Stingley, Kamari Lassiter, Jalen Petrie comes down into the box sometimes, but I mean, I still take the Eagles over them. The Patriots have Christian Gonzalez, Carlton Davis, but still not enough to compare to what they have in Philadelphia. So yes, it was a good signing. I don't know what any passing game is going to do against the Eagles this year, honestly, because Reek Williams on a prove-it deal, he bet on himself to get a bigger contract next year, took a one-year deal in Philly. Who should the Cowboys draft? So if you look at their free agency, let's go to their free agency first. Obviously, the Cowboys had a terrible, terrible defensive team last year. One of the worst, if not the worst, especially when you look at the efficiency numbers. EPA per play, they were absolute last. Positive 0.13 points added expected per play, worse than the NFL. Against the pass, they were the second worst. And against the rush, they were actually second worst. They tried to address these things with Rashawn Gary. I don't know. Rashawn Gary was great at the beginning of the season whenever he was playing with Micah Parsons. Once Micah Parsons went down, he did not do anything. He was a shell of himself. And now you're sending him to the Cowboys where they don't have anything comparable to Micah Parsons and a double team to take pressure off of Rashawn Gary. What is he going to do up next to Quentin Williams? We'll see. It's an improvement of what they had. I mean, they had Donovan Ezaraku. They re-signed Sam Williams. So they made some improvement with that front four. I was very impressed with their two secondary signings in Jalen Thompson and PJ Locke. Jalen Thompson was overlooked at times, I would say, in Arizona. Played behind not behind, but with Buda Baker is going to get overshadowed from him. But I think he was solid. I mean, definitely an upgrade from what they had last year in Dallas. So they've improved. Whenever you look at their draft picks, let's see. They currently have. I mean, they have the their own pick and the Green Bay Packers, 12 and 20. So in the draft, I think they still have to go defense because their offense is set as is. They don't need to do. They can do nothing else to their offense and be fine. But in the defense, they still could go edge, best edge available at 10. There still could be some names there, especially how the top of that board falls. Let's see. Right now, some of the mocks have them taking top 10. Not everybody's. So if they don't go edge at 12, I think they go cornerback. It's going to be defense regardless. I think they take best player available. I don't think Caleb Downs falls to them. I don't think Sonny Styles falls to them. Caleb Downs, I'd be kind of hesitant taking because he's coming off that partially torn ACL. So do they keep pushing with him? I don't necessarily know that they should. But yeah, then at 20, they could double up again with another first round pick in defense. So they've done relatively well based on the cap movement that they had to do with they were up against the cap prior to, and they did a lot of reconfiguring their cap numbers with Dak and CeeDee Lamb to get under the number to have money to spend in free agency. All right. But the Raiders keep Max Crosby and they get Tyler Linderbaum. Yes, they are a little more cap strapped now, a lot less cap space. They were obviously trying to get rid of Max Crosby. So how does that work now? Do they want to continue to? Why is everybody talking about Bam Adebayo? 83 points. What in the world? I mean, keep up with the NBA. 43 free throws. Oh my God, this is such an offensive league. If Bam Adebayo is breaking Kobe's record. Anyways, all right. Do they rescind some of their signings? I'm not sure. I don't know what they do in Las Vegas to try to get more under the cap than what they were. Um, Connor appreciates the follow. Oh wait, I think I already saw that. Sorry. I think they still keep Tyler Linderbaum. I mean, I know they overpaid for him, but do they end up rescinding that trade and he somehow ends up in Las Vegas? I'm not sure. You think Crosby to the Cowboys? It would not surprise me. Jerry Jones has done crazier things. It would not surprise me that he got first round picks for Michael Parsons and he turned around and flips it for Max Crosby, who's coming off an injury, and Baltimore rescinded their trade. Could Sonny Styles fall to Dallas? To 12, I really don't know. He had such a great combine that it would be hard for him to get all the way down to Dallas, especially when you look at the teams ahead of them that could use a linebacker. Vegas is taking Mendoza. We know that. He's not going 2 to the Jets. 3 to the Cardinals. That would be a lot, especially when they need offensive line. Titans, potentially, but I don't know. Giants, maybe. That's where it starts getting iffy. Browns are not taking him at linebacker. Commanders, yeah, that's very possible. Saints, they need a replacement for Demario Davis. Chiefs, I don't know. I think they go elsewhere, but it's possible. I mean, there's a lot of teams that could take him. Bengals, yes, it's in. Dolphins, yes, they need defense. So it's going to be hard for him to go all the way to 12. Yeah, I see the Bam Adebayo stuff, which is absolutely insane. Top 3 teams in free agency so far. I was looking through this today. If I had to rank them, I mean, if you want to look at the Rams, they just absolutely went crazy on their defense with them trading for Trent McDuffie. They re-signed Cam Curl and got Jalen Watson. We thought Cam Curl was going to be walking in free agency. We knew that they had to shore up that secondary to take pressure off that front four. The offense is obviously great as is, but they went crazy. Who else did I like in free agency? Uh, I mean, I like what the Panthers did. They had to take big swings, and they did so. Um, Outside of them, I mean, the Titans got a lot better with a lot of not so big name signings, but they did get Jermaine Johnson with the Tvondre Sweat trade. They get Wandale Robinson, John Franklin Myers, who was underrated in Denver last year, Cordell Flott, Alante Taylor, Daniel Bellinger, Arden Key, Cordell Volson. I mean, Schlottman's the new center. They did great. Who else? The Patriots. I mean, they really went all out. Getting Dobbs, Draymond Jones, Elijah Vera Tucker. I like all 3 of those signings. Who else got a lot better? The Jets got a lot better. The Bengals getting Boye Mafe, re-signing Dalton Risner, and getting Brian Cook from the Chiefs. Solid for sure. What did the Raiders even do? Well, other than rescind their Max Crosby trade, they signed Tyler Linderbaum to the richest center contract by a large margin. Um, Outside of that, they got Teron Johnson from the Bills. They got Eric Stokes, who they re-signed. Jalen Naylor, who was an underrated free agent signing, in my opinion. He was kind of like the glue that helped keep the Vikings offense together. Very underrated because he's overshadowed by Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson in Minnesota, but he was very reliable in his 4 years in Minnesota. They get Kwity Paye, who would play for the Colts last. They get Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean. That is a solid duo at the linebacker position. And they also re-signed Malcolm Kuntz, who is a pass rush specialist. I know I see the Bam spam in here. It is absolutely insane that he scored 83. The NBA is such an offensively driven league. It doesn't even make sense, honestly. So yeah, that's what happened with all these teams. Oh man, the worst team as far as free agency goes, the Jags didn't really do much. They brought back Monteric Brown. They signed Quentin Morris, tight end, doesn't really do anything for me. Dennis Gardeck, who doesn't also do anything for me per se. Another team that really didn't do much in free agency, the Giants. They just took a lot of the Ravens players and brought them to New York. The Packers cut a lot of people. The only people they added was Sean Ryan re-signed, Zaire Franklin in the trade, and Benjamin St. Juste, who is not a reliable DB at all. The Vikings haven't done much. They signed Eric Wilson at linebacker position and James Pierre at DB, but that doesn't do much for me either. Saints got slightly better. They got Travis Etienne, which means that they are going to possibly be moving on from Alvin Kamara. It's going to be interesting to see what they do going forward. David Edwards, outstanding interior lineman from the Buffalo Bills. Noah Fant as their pass catching tight end. What? Okay. Thoughts on the Browns? The Browns, they actually did a lot, especially to get Titus Howard. Their offensive line was basically gone. They get Titus Howard. They get Zion Johnson. I mean, this is not. I mean, players you write home about, but I mean, for what the Browns are doing as far as as cap strapped as they are, and in a very still rebuilding phase, especially being on the books for Deshaun Watson. They get Titus Howard, Zion Johnson, and Tevin Jenkins back for their offensive line. They also signed Elgin Jenkins from Green Bay, who was a surprise cut from the Green Bay Packers. They get a new center. I mean, Quincy Williams signed as well. I mean, this is solid. This is solid work from the Cleveland Browns based on where they're at right now as far as the cap goes. Max Crosby news is crazy, absolutely insane. Talked about it earlier. This is going to have ramifications throughout the league because how do they trade him? Do they just bring him back? I mean, obviously he's back on the roster as is, but do they keep him there? Do they try to move him? He's going to be hard pressed for the same return that they had from the Ravens after they deemed that he failed his physical. Does that affect the free agent signings that are not on paper yet, but the free agent signings, handshakes that the Raiders have done already? How does that affect? I mean, does Crosby get traded, him getting traded somewhere else? Does that affect free agent signings on other teams? I don't know. Bam Adebayo, I know this is insane. 83 points from not an offensive player. The NBA is trash now. Titans legit now if Love is drafted. Legit is a strong word to use. Yes, they improved their front four by bringing in Arden Key and Jermaine Johnson. But, I mean, they still have such a long ways to go. This defense was god-awful. Cam Ward had no weapons last year. Yes, he gets Wandale Robinson and Daniel Bellinger, but, I mean, they still have so much to improve upon. I mean, legit, as far as a playoff contender, I don't know. I mean, if they get to 500, I would say that would be a great season for them, but they're going to be hard-pressed to do so. I like what the Titans have done. Still need more. Yeah, I mean, if they take Love at 4, I mean, it just seems like the rumors are growing more and more that the Titans will take him at 4. It's a little rich for my blood, especially for the value you get, say, with an edge rusher at 4 on the contract. You already have Tony Pollard. I mean, we saw what Ashton Genty was unable to do in Las Vegas with that offensive line. But yeah, still improvement for the Titans. I'm so happy we got rid of Kyler Murray. Yes, they needed to rebuild and start anew. I don't think they could have did it with another regime change, bringing in Kyler Murray, especially being on the books for what he's on the books. I know they have a huge dead cap hit, but moving forward, they had to just go on without him. Do you think the Cowboys are done with free agency? As of right now, I think this is pretty accurate. They are still 15 million under the cap. They got to move a few more things, but I don't know how much more they can afford to do, honestly. And with that said, they probably are done in free agency and will move towards the draft. I mean, they already got George Pickens with the tag. They re-signed Javonte Williams, and they move to spend money on the defense, which they had to with Rashawn Gary, assuming he stays there. Jalen Thompson, PJ Locke, definitely an upgrade in that secondary that was the worst secondary in the NFL last year. I'm a Titans fan. We will get like 6 wins. Yes, 6 wins would be an improvement, though. I think if you're a Titans fan, you are just looking forward to trying to do better. Like you are taking a step forward to build toward the future. Don't have another top 5 pick potentially next year. Thoughts on the Jets free agency? So to recap, the Jets tag Brees Hall. On the offensive side, they brought in Geno Smith in a trade. On the defensive side, they traded Jermaine Johnson away for Devondre Sweat. They bring in Mika Fitzpatrick. They bring in Nashawn Wright. They bring in Demario Davis. They bring in Joseph Fasai. They bring in Barre. They bring in Anyamata. They bring in Dane Belton. There's no way they bring that many people in and are not somewhat of an improved team. This roster was so bare bones last year, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Once they traded Sauce Gardner and Quentin Williams, they were one of the worst defenses in the NFL. They were one of the worst teams in the NFL after losing by, was it 20 plus points in 5 straight games. They had the fewest turnovers in NFL history. They were the first team to not finish the season with an interception. So yes, it was improved. It's a need though. Cam needs a good 3 down running back. I mean, Tony Pollard is solid. Yes, Jeremiah Love will be an upgrade. It just gives me hesitancy after what happened with Ashton Genty last year to draft a running back that early. But I mean, crazier things have happened. You think the Bucks have hope for this season? They did bring in Kenneth Gainwell, who was great in Pittsburgh as far as the pass catcher goes. I mean, they're in the NFC South. They've regressed some over the past year or two, and the Panthers, the Falcons, and the Saints have slowly gotten better. That division is going to be a dogfight for someone to finish 9-8. Honestly, they have a chance. I feel like they're on equal footing with everyone else in the NFC South. So we will see. Yes, everybody, I saw Bam drop 83. Don't have much to say on that other than the NBA has become such an offensive league that if Bam Adebayo is scoring 83, then what are we watching? You think the Pats are going to get A.J. Brown? I don't think it takes them out of the running to get A.J. Brown, even though they signed Romeo Dobbs. They have plenty of cap room coming into this, and they are still in it to make a trade. I mean, I feel like the teams that could go out and get A.J. Brown include the Patriots, include the Ravens potentially. A.J. Brown could also go to the likes of, I mean, the Commanders could use it, but they need more on the defense, and the Eagles are not going to trade within the division. Outside of that, I could see him going to, man, it's hard pressed to find another team that would be able to fit him in with the cap right now. It would also be in the situation of the Chiefs, but they were cap strapped to begin with. They had to rework a lot. Outside of that, that's probably it. Patriots or Ravens? I don't think anyone else would do it. Why did Dallas sign Sam Howell? I mean, I don't know that it really matters. They needed who was their backup quarterback prior to this? Joe Milton. Was it Joe Milton? Joe Milton's still there? Yeah. I mean, just signing for more depth. I mean, backup quarterbacks, they usually try to get someone who is more like their scheme fit to begin with, regardless of how good they are. Just wasting money. Well, I mean, they just had Joe Milton. Most teams carry 3 quarterbacks on the roster, so we will see. I think the Cowboys will get Hendrickson tomorrow. I think the Cowboys will either get Hendrickson or Max Crosby tomorrow. They will get one of the two because Jerry Jones has no chill. Who you got at running back for the Seahawks, or do you think they trade up for a rookie? So, do they still have George Halani? George Halani's still on the roster. I think Charbonnet is going to be the bell cow to start with. And they probably take a day 3. I don't think they trade up necessarily for a running back. As far as their needs go, outside of running back, let's see, where's my list? They also need cornerback and edge. So I could see them potentially trading up, but I don't know that it's a given. They could run it back with Charbonnet and draft someone in round 3 or 4, honestly. What do I think about the Titans? I think the Titans greatly improved. They had a lot of room to get better. They were absolutely terrible last year. And there's a possibility they could win 6 or 7 games this year. Cam Ward was fighting for his life last year. He had no real weaponry around him. The defense was god awful. So it's interesting to see what they do. Obviously, they added Wandale Robinson, who is probably going to be coming in as wide receiver 1 from day 1. Yeah, true. Charbonnet is out. So we take that into consideration. With Charbonnet being out with the ACL, they still could sign someone. I mean, remaining free agents that Seattle could go after. You have the likes of Rashad White, Emmanuel Wilson. Oh my God, Joe Mixon, Najee Harris coming off of the Achilles, Brian Robinson Jr., Aaron Jones, Kareem Hunt. I mean, outside of that, then you're really slim pickings. Damian Pierce. Outside of that, that's like third down running backs. So they probably sign someone else and then draft someone, I would believe. Dave, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to retire. I think Mike McCarthy being in Pittsburgh, we know Aaron Rodgers likes to drag these things out, and he will probably come back because he has a connection with Mike McCarthy. They're old pals from Green Bay. They had a good time in Green Bay, so I think he comes back to play in Green Bay for yet again another season because now he has two slightly above average wide receivers in DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman Jr. Yeah. If you don't follow, we're just talking about free agency now. Hit that follow button. Do appreciate it. We're going in this year two. This is stats based NFL talk analytics, more numbers than X's and O's. Where do you think Trey Hendrickson is going? Well, I thought the Bills prior to today, but now it may be the Ravens since they really have no choice but to kind of go edge in free agency. And outside of Trey Hendrickson, who is left? Joey Bosa, Cam Jordan, DJ Wanham, Hassan Reddick, Bradley Chubb, Clavon Chason. Uh, you're really picking backup players at that point. Leonard Floyd, Arnold Ebiketie, Dante Fowler, and then go at 14 with Edge. So I think he may end up in Baltimore. If not Bills or Baltimore, Dallas. Yeah, the Max Crosby trade was crazy. We were talking about that earlier. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes did not get released. If I'm Baltimore GM, I'm signing Trey, Jaquan Brisker, Debo or Diggs, and Rasheed Walker and drafting the holes. I don't know if they have enough money to afford all of them. That would be great though if they were able to do that. But we shall see. Kane, appreciate the follow though. I mean, right now, the biggest needs in Baltimore include interior offensive linemen, being that um, Tyler Linderbaum's gone. Daniel Falele, even though he wasn't the greatest, is gone. They now need defensive line again since Max Crosby is rescinded, and they also need tight end. They have Mark Andrews, and that's it. Because Isaiah Likely is gone, Charlie Kolar is gone as well. So happy with Pittsburgh free agency pickups in the Pittman trade. Yeah, I'm just that number that they gave him was a little rich for my blood, but we are. They get Jamil Dean. They get Rico Dowdle. They re-sign Asante Samuel. They also bring in A.T. Perry and Cole Holcomb. So, yeah. We're going to cut it for tonight. Yes, I saw Bam. Man, the NBA that is so offensively driven that it doesn't hold any weight with me. Honestly, if Bam Adebayo's putting up 83, it was against the Wizards because, of course, the Wizards have been terrible for many years and continue to be. Kyler's probably gonna end up somewhere like Minnesota, if I had to guess. He's going on the vet minimum, so it's like 1.8 million, I think, all they had to pay him. I mean, he's getting paid from Arizona. Yes, Jake. I saw Bam. Bam, bam, bam. All right, I think that's it for tonight. If you don't follow, please be sure to hit that follow button. Keep up with analytics of all NFL teams, and we will be back probably next week. Appreciate you stopping by.